Hello everyone! Welcome to the Nordic RTS Report with me, Runors, bringing you yet another supreme command of Forge Alliance Forevercast. And today, finally, the replay vault has been fixed so I can use replays again to make supreme command the cast. I'm really happy, as you might hear from my voice. I'm a little bit calm now, as I am... I don't know, there's something about it today. It's just, I'm just calm. So, we're gonna actually now get this a little bit going because I got this replay sent by someone. I'm not gonna say who of these guys sent it yet because it was such an exciting one that I don't want to reveal who sent it. But first we're gonna call this player 1 over here, player 2 over here. Down here though, we have quite appearing quite often then now on my cast sometimes. We have the esteemed RoQe, as I call him, or as I suddenly found out later, RoQe, going Seraphim first land in a nice blue. Now then, for player 2, we have discoverer2k4. I'm not sure what those last numbers mean, but they must be something important for him. But anyway, he's going... I'm just going to call him Discover. He's going Cybran first land, and he is going in a nice red. So far, I'm going to plus things up to speed 2, because in the beginning, things do not really happen. And, yeah, as I'm always saying, things in the beginning, they have to just build up the bases and get going. And actually, this is a map on Monarchy. I only played it 1 or 2 times when the map was created and posted on FAF, a good whopping time back. But I gotta say, it's a very cool map. You have this nice settlement in the beginning. I'm just gonna go down to 0 again then. You have this nice settlement or Cybran village in the center here. You have these Cybran wall segments, really cool looking, I do have to say. And then you have all these abilities or possibilities for hydrocar power plant and reinforced position here with these steep hills to defend against direct fire. Artillery can take it out, I would assume. Now then, early on we see though that while RoQe decides to stay in his base a little bit longer with his commander, already Discover has moved out and started the advancement of actually sending his commanders quite far ahead and trying to reclaim all of these. I think that is what looks like Mantis wrecks. Yes, they are at least 42 mass worth. But now we see though that some microing here from Discoverer is containing this Mantis. Making it survive longer. But I think that RoQe's Tham will be, yes, as I assumed, RoQe's Tham will be able to survive it, though it's more tanky, even though that the Tham has a slower fire rate. But now we see though that an early bomber has been produced here, or like the first bomber I would say then, has been produced for RoQe. I'm just gonna say RoQe, it's easier. I mean, I blame it on me as a Norwegian. But now we see though that he's sending a nice blast there, taking out 2 engineers, denying the production of this anti-air turret, trying to build it to deny bomber attacks, but this bomber doing a very good job dealing a damage to this anti-air turret and taking out now 3 engineers, having 4 kills already. And was it killed though? I think it may have been killed there. But now we see 2 Mantis over here, they're taking out engineers, and this Tham here providing a lot of firepower there. But now we see though that another bomb was released from that bomber, taking out a Sky Slammer and removing the anti-air turret. But otherwise than that, the base of Discoverer seems to be in good spirits. So far we see though that Discoverer is sending out his commander quite far ahead here, next or close to RoQe's base. I'm just fluctuating between this. I do apologize. RoQe, it depends on, I suppose, how we say it. But anyway, as I'm saying this now, though, it looks like RoQe is sending out his own commander and closing in on the middle part of the southern part of the map. The middle part of the southern part of the map. Do you even speak English? Anyway, now we see 3 Thams coming out there for RoQe and going after the mass extractors in the northern part of Discoverer's own map controlling area. But Discoverer himself seems to be in a bit of an interesting development where he has his commander close to the frontier to RoQe. We'll have to see if that actually pays off though, as I don't know what his plan is for or what do you call it, expanding. But we'll have to see, as his command is also at the front here. And that's what I like about this map, is that you have these small ponds here. So even if Discoverer, well, smells danger, he can just dip below this water pond, because I think it's deep enough for him not to take damage or direct fire. So that can actually be really interesting to see what he plans on doing. Do we see any plans for T2 on the way? How do we see on the factories? I can't see what he has planned on producing. So far he just seems content in trying to get his energy level sorted out, because he is doing rather bad in energy levels. So far doesn't have access to overcharge, but I am hopeful in the certainty that yes, he looks like he wants to fall back into the water, but RoQe's own tanks are preventing him, and he needs to get himself below water, otherwise he's going to take an unnecessary amount of damage, as another bomber from RoQe is coming in and delivering, I think isn't it 200 DPS on those bombers? I can't remember correctly. And now we see the same tactic here for RoQe, but he is way more healthier than Discoverer, as he probably just wants to attack this mass extractor here, going well, all the way up to the front part of the base to Discoverer, but not pushing very much on the southern frontier. So RoQe is pretty much uncontested in this part of the map, while RoQe is constantly sending out well, or what he calls raiding parties, so he can deny mass extractor building capabilities for Discoverer. So far it looks like both players are doing a fairly good job. It looks like Discovery is still standing below the water, still feeling safe underneath there. As we see though that RoQe is actually moving quite forward here, taking quite a lot of damage here from all of these mantis, and a auto gun that is dropping RoQe down to 7.5k health. And this can be quite dangerous for him, so he is promptly falling back, going to dip his head under the water, going up for a little bit of a healthy swim. So this should be nice to see what happens. What do we see in the base of RoQe though? So far he has a spam going on in his base. How are we doing on the reclaim and eco-wise? Eco-wise it looks like they're pretty much on the same point here. It looks like, let's see, Discover has about 30 or somewhere around that, while RoQe has about 24, between 29, so they're about equal in that sense. Reclaim wise, RoQe has about 2,000 and Discover only has about 1,000, so in the reclaim game RoQe has the advantage, it would seem. So there are some mass points all over this place in the terms of like wrecks and rocks that you can reclaim, and I'm gonna actually stop talking about that, because now we see 2 more bombers are coming in on an attack run here. And it looks like they're going for some other units. I'm not too sure what they're going after. None of the bombers managed to deliver their payload, so a little bit of a failed one there. But here though we see that 2 of FAMs to RoQe is still standing there. They've not been destroyed, so if he sends them in now before he can react, he can't get his autogun up and running. But as I'm saying this though, now we see a Discoverer is trying to push out on the southern part of the map, and RoQe is just dipping below the water once more, but dipping in and out will then quickly deal with that problem. We see though that RoQe has built a wall segment here, trying to deny discoverer2k4 from actually getting up underwater and gain easy access to his base, and he's keeping a lot of FAMs around here. But we see Discover trying to send in units, but they are facing a large wall of FAMs here, providing a lot of firepower, as these mantis are just coming in one at a time, and that will well tip the battle into RoQe's favor. But now we see though that jesters are being produced here from discoverer2k4. So far I would say that map control is more in RoQe's favor. However, the northern part is still contested, but a large force of FAMs are now readily available to RoQe, and he has some interceptors online, but so far air control seems to be firmly in Discoverer's, well, grasp. I'm not sure what you could call it. I do apologize though if I seem to be a little bit more slower in how I talk. I try to be a little bit more careful now how I phrase myself. mostly because I don't want to have too much it's something I try to be more self-conscious about, and I would love to hear feedback from you guys if I'm doing it more than necessary, if it's tiring or if it's just okay, if you don't mind it, because I try to be more professional in that sense. But now we see though that 3 jesters out from Discoverer is taking out all of these FAMs that was probably hoping to get a successful run by and going into the base of Discoverer. We don't know what RoQe is thinking. His mind is always a puzzlement to me, I do have to say. I do find myself lucky though into at least considering, I would say, a gamer friend. I mean, I never met him in real life, so in the sociological standpoint, I suppose I can't really count him as a friend in that sense. But, you know, sociology aside, I do have to say it's nice having people like RoQe there. He's got a fairly decent sense of humor, but at the same time, he is, well, okay, I wouldn't exactly call it humble, but anyway, I do not take sides. I'm, as always, oops, sorry, bumped the microphone. I'm always an impartial caster, I swear, except for when there are trolls or rages. I do not very much like rages. I have a small dislike for the people that, I don't know, that just make the game experience sour for everyone. I've experienced that a few times, and I understand people can get frustrated, but at the same time, I get very sad considering the fact that, you know, it's a game we're supposed to play for fun and not because I don't know. I don't want to delve too much into the realm of internet debates because you never come out of it with your hands clean, because you have to make a standpoint at some point of something, and it's a bit of a dangerous situation. And now we see a very fun tactic here from Discovery. He's actually reclaiming the THAMs here to RoQe, but he needs to be a little bit careful though, because he is quite close to the base to RoQe, but he has reinforcements coming in though, thinning out a herd of THAMs. As we see though, as I'm saying that, a lot of THAMs are coming up from the south through the middle gap here, and this can be quite a large engagement here for RoQe and Discoverer, as he's on the brink of entering RoQe's base here. But a lot of FAMs here are denying him access and trying to stave off the tide here, as we see though that a point defense has been finished in the nick of time and overcharge comes in, but I still don't know what is this glitch here. Sometimes when I see shots being fired against point defenses, they go behind it and hit the wall segment, so it sometimes makes it really difficult actually attacking a point defense. I'm not sure if anyone knows what that is. Is it a glitch? Is it a fault? I don't know. But now we see though that Discover seems to be quite solely pressed there. He has access to overcharge. And what do we see about that though? He has access to overcharge and a good source of energy, so he can deliver quite a steady stream of damage. But now he needs to be careful though, because some of these prowlers here are just standing still, taking flak fire, and he really needs to get his butt out of there, trying to probably get into the water again. But now these FAMs are trying to deny access. I don't think there will be enough FAMs to kill him, but severely damage him, so he has to stay under the water for a lengthy period of time. How are we doing about RoQe? He's standing unside. Whoops, sorry. He's standing underneath the water himself. Does he have any upgrades on his comm? No, he does not. Do we see any upgrades on Discover now that I think about it? He has access to T2 on his commander, but nothing else at the current time. But now we see T2 rolling off the conveyor belt as well for Discoverer. I think that is the first Rhino to Discover. I'm not too certain. We see though that T2 has been in the production of quite a while for RoQe, as he has access to Tech 2 mobile anti-air cannon, or FLAC, as we might more affectionately call it. I would advise Discovery to get the hell out of there though, because he I'm not sure if RoQe decides to go T2 and get what do you call it? The torpedo bombers. He will be solely pressed, so that can be quite a interesting development. Or, you know, he just won't have access to his command of using it to any sort of useful extent. But now that we see a Rhino standing over here trying to deliver quite a lot of damage here, still standing still though, so he gets hit by every single shot that is fired against him. And okay, that's what I like and dislike about the Rhino. It's a very direct tank, so all the lasers are shooting in a very flat line, the hit almost instantly, so that is useful. But at the same time, if there is a small hill or just a little bit of an uphill like that, it will miss more often than not. And now we see though that the chances of discoverer2k4 to get away from this pond is severely diminishing, as he's just sending in rhinos one at a time. Ilshvis are coming off the conveyor belt for RoQe, and at this point I really would assume that he should probably either go for a gun upgrade or try to get a group of rhinos gathered up and see if he can do something about it. But he has access to renegades though, so Discoverer can pull this off, but he's leaving the southern part mainly untouched here. I would love to see these rhinos now skip past RoQe's main base here, trying to do more damage to these things here. Perhaps do a small raid up here, since most of the defenses have been produced up in the northern part and more of the defenses are being focused up. Now we're going into the very dangerous part here, as Discovery is going well into the red. 1700 health point left on Discoverer, as all of these FAMs and Ilshvis are still here dealing quite a lot of damage. And now we see though that the renegades have to fall back because there's a flak cannon here firing against the renegade turrets. Oh no, sorry, renegade gunships. I do apologize if I do say it a little bit wrong. We see though that RoQe has managed to actually do quite a lot of interesting damage potential here, as he has been able to take these mass points. I would love to see the engineers to Discover try to at least capture it or reclaim it, because he's trying to get hydrocarbon power plant online, and mass-wise he's not doing so good. So far it looks like RoQe is the more favorable player in this game. He's doing not so well in the energy level, but he's always on the breadline. He's getting more power online as we speak, and his base is starting to get really well entrenched. Can't really say the same for Discovery. He has a much lower rate of what would you call it, expansion. He still hasn't upgraded his mexes. Do we see that for RoQe? He has all his main mexes in the base already upgraded to T2. We only see 2 of them upgraded, while one mass extract is still T1. And now this can be quite a dangerous point, as Discovery tries to get Cerberus turrets online, but against a lot of moving targets, I don't think a Cerberus point defense is very useful, because very tanky units will be able to withstand the small damage potential as Cerberus turret has. He is much better to just go out of the water, overcharge, and now I think could be a good time to try to get away. If he can just have these units in the back as a reserve and send him around here and protect himself to go out on the northern part here. Because now it looks like RoQe is sending in his own commander. Looks like he has something on his right arm, and that would be the gun upgrade, the Chronoton Accelerator. So this can be quite dangerous for discoverer2k4. So far, RoQe has been pushing Discoverer back into the base, and I think the game is starting to unfold into a semi-conscious state where we can see where the outcome is coming from. And I would assume and guess that at this point it's starting to get a little bit closer to a result we can, well, realize and accept. And now though we see that RoQe is starting to encroach upon the base of Discoverer. But now we see as well Discoverer trying to make a run for it and try to break off and get his commander out of there, trying to go around on the northern side. But can RoQe respond to this? Yes, he probably will. He will probably send these units up on the northern side here and box him in, sending all these units following him. And yes, as I'm saying this, RoQe is doing that exact thing, and now we see he's going to be very sorely pressed if he can't get his units over there. How many rhinos does he have to protect himself? He only has 6 rhinos, and Discovery is going to be very hard pressed, as to see a lot of these units are coming in here. I would love to see an overcharge coming out from Discoverer. And so far we do need to overcharge that Ilsheva. Please, no, he took an overcharge into the 3 FAMs fantastic shot, but still, that Ilsheva can deal more damage than these 3 Thams, at least in the terms of how much damage they have. Nice overcharge, they're taking out that Ilsheva, but there's still an Ilsheva still alive though, so needs to take that Ilsheva and not standing still, trying to make a run for it. Gotta get a hell out of there as more Thams are coming in. Now gotta turn around and take out all of these units. Still almost close to another ranking help there, and so damaged now, and it hurts. 119. Oh, still so low on health. Needs to get more kills in the bag here for his commander, and in the nick of time he gets the last upgrade on his what do you call it, the stuffy stuff. I can't remember it at this current moment. And as we look on here, he needs to get into the water because it's getting very, very strange for Discoverer. Needs to get the hell out of there, needs to get into the water. What is he thinking? He needs to get his butt out of there as more units are encroaching on the location here. We see also that RoQe is standing in the middle of the base of Discoverer, but I don't really think there will be any sort outcome other than defeat for Discoverer if he can't get the hell out of there, because he doesn't have any more veterans he has to get from this. And he needs to do overcharges into the Ilshevas, but now it looks like RoQe is trying to spread out his Ilshevas to deny the explosions. But nice overcharge today. Overcharge, taking out another of the Ilshevas and another Tham. And another overcharge is constantly dealing a lot of damage, but he needs to get into the water. I beg of you, Discover, please, please, please. As we see RoQe is middle of the base though, I think this is over, but he needs to get his butt into the water. Get out of there. Get out of there now. Get an overcharge or something. Do something, please. I beg of you. He's going well into the red, below 1,000 at this current time, and as we end up on the round of 20 minutes, discoverer2k4 has been defeated by a nice Ilsheva spam and Tham spam, if I might add to it, by RoQe. Fantastic playing from both sides, but in the end it looks like the large quantities of land factories might, and I suppose ecoing, might go into RoQe's favor. And I gotta say, that was a fantastic match. So, and as you might now have guessed, RoQe was the one sending me the replay. So I do thank you, RoQe, for sending it. It's fantastic. And next time I make a Supreme Commander video, I will hopefully be playing it myself. So anyway, I'm gonna end this video now. So thank you guys for watching this. If you liked this video, press that like button. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.
Strategic launch detected.
No! Come on, Jack!
Phoenix!
Oh god. Yes, okay. Oh.